Hello, today we are going to look at oil and its contribution to the global energy mix. We also have a look at the specifics in the variations to this contribution for each country or region depending on the level of resource endowment and economic development in those regions or countries. Oil is the largest contributor of primary energy by volume and value to the global energy system. The transportation industry is dominated by oil and its byproducts. For example, in the US, oil and byproducts contribute about 97% of the transportation energy needs. For the thermal energy needs, oil and byproducts contribute about 30%, where thermal energy refers to residential and industrial heating needs. Natural gas, however, dominates in the thermal energy sector with about 57% contribution. Oil and byproducts contribute a very insignificant share of the electricity sector. The electricity sector in the US is currently dominated by natural gas with about 38% versus 23% for coal in 2019. The dominance of natural gas is driven by the cheaper US domestic gas due to the shale gas revolution and the progressive retiring of coal-fired plants as the US gears towards emissions reduction. Several factors may impact the total contribution of oil and its byproducts to the energy mix. These factors can range from technological, regulatory, policy developments, unplanned risk events. Oil is a product which has a derived demand, which means that its demand is dependent on the demand for its derivatives or byproducts such as gasoline, jet fuel, bunker fuel, diesel, and some other byproducts. Since the transportation sector is dominated by crude oil byproducts, it is very essential that every player in the midstream, upstream, and downstream sectors of the oil value chain should pay special attention to the dynamics of the transportation sector, because the demand factors in the transportation sector will feed back to the viability and profitability of business in the upstream, midstream, and downstream sectors of the oil value chain. The contribution of oil to the transportation sector in the US could be seen as averagely the same outlook for most regions of the world, with oil dominating by over 95% contribution. However, in the thermal and electricity sectors, it could be varying depending on the resource endowments and the economic development of the different regions or countries. For example, in poorer countries where there is proliferation of distributed power generation that is off the electricity grid, we may find more utilization of oil byproducts such as gasoline and diesel for electricity generation. In countries with large endowments of resources such as oil, they may employ more percentage of oil products in power generation. This is the case in Saudi Arabia, which is heavily endowed with oil resources and as such employs its cheap oil resources as the dominant source of electricity generation. Similarly, in the US, natural gas has become the leading source of electricity generation given the successes in shale gas revolution, which has made natural gas very cost effective as a source of energy generation. In very wealthy countries, there is increasing utilization of renewables for electricity generation, and there may be little or no contribution of oil to electricity generation. In poorer countries, there is virtually an absence of nuclear-generated electricity due to the high level of technological sophistication, the financial capital, and the risk management know-how required to manage such advanced technological applications. Certain factors may have very significant impact on the directions and shifts in the contributions of different sources of energy to the global energy mix. Recently, we have seen very significant increments in electricity generated from renewables. The successes in the electricity-powered vehicle have set a new normal, even as many countries start to set aggressive targets to replace fossil-fueled vehicles with electricity-powered vehicles by 2050. It is very important that all players in the midstream, upstream, and downstream sectors of the oil value chain pay special attention to the dynamics in the transportation sector, as the feedback from these demand factors in the transportation sector will set the baseline for the profitability, the viability, and sustainability of businesses in the upstream, midstream, and downstream sectors of the oil value chain. You are encouraged to attempt to take the position of the CEO of Excel Storage Incorporated as he attempts to make a decision, a strategic decision, given the information his analysts have presented about the dynamics in the transportation sector of country X, where Excel Storage currently has existing operations. Thank you as you have fun trying to apply the understanding from this presentation towards making a strategic decision for your company. You can follow us for more videos that expand your understanding of the fiscal and the financial energy markets. And if you're a candidate for the ERP, Energy Risk Professional exams, you will benefit from going through these videos and attempting the questions. Thank you.